Morning, everybody. It is the 5th of November. Happy Guy Fawkes night. It's Signal
Ooh,
Centre Talking Ball. Joe Neighbour, Steve O'Hare, Ian Coleman. Morning, guys.
good morning.
Morning.
How are we all post election?
Oh,
Yeah, well, it's still going on, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah, we'll
Trump's doing.
still be talking about it next week, won't we?
yeah, it looks that way. It looks like Joe Biden is edging towards the White House with the wins in Michigan and Wisconsin, although I don't think they're official yet, are they? Particularly not the Wisconsin one. From what I saw yesterday, there was 300 votes that they haven't counted because there was a small town that hadn't got all their postal votes in yet, but pretty much
Okay.
he's won that. Um, Markets don't seem too put off by it. Equities are steaming higher.
Yeah. No, we were talking about that the other day, weren't we? The fact that you've got that sort of double whammy effect for higher equities. Incumbent, if Trump stayed in, then it's normally history tells us that it's quite bullish.
Yeah.
But then a lot of people were saying if Biden gets in, but he hasn't got the Senate vote, has he? As well. I mean, that was the I think they called it the what was it? The blue wave. He had to get both, and he hasn't got that. So anyway, it's
Yeah. Well, Trump, as you would expect, has come out with an aggressive tone, failing to accept the results so far, using the fraud word quite a lot. He has also opened up legal fights to stop vote countings in at least 2 states. So, the drama certainly hasn't finished yet with regards to the US election. Aside from the US election, we have had the Bank of England today announce more stimulus. Sterling has therefore taken, well, it's actually risen on the back of that.
mm,
They did the announcement a little bit early today.
7 o'clock, wasn't it?
9 people to 0 people voted in favour of more QE. The decision was brought forward to avoid a clash with the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rishi Sunak's latest pandemic support strategy package, which I think is expected to speak a bit later on today, around midday. We also have FOMC later today, which has been delayed a day due to the election. So I don't expect there to be many policy changes there at all. Okay, let's have a look at some charts. Steve, obviously you've been all over the Nasdaq, and that had a big old move yesterday. How has that
Yeah.
affected things on your approach?
Yeah. Got lost money yesterday with this sort of like extended rally higher, which is, we've said the day before that there's a potential for the slap around the face. I'm definitely getting it. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna sort of like change my mind on this, change my view on this until we do get a break of the right shoulder. I'd waver, and if we get a break of the head, then I'm wrong, and we're looking for a potential double top, I was going to say, but I'm looking for, if we get a decent break and a close above that all-time high, then I'm wrong, and I've got to move on and forget about it. But I'm just trying to make sure I'm picking the good risk rewards area to try and fade this. I could sort of like go the more sensible approach and wait for a reversal. But obviously when you wait for a reversal, you miss out on a lot of the potential P&L. This downward trending resistance line looks like the next level for me, 12,117. I've got an offer in today at 12,125 just on a PA account. The high of 12,250 is where my stop will be for that trade. And then I'll re-look again. Maybe I'll sort of like lick my wounds and wait until we see what happens at the 12,475 if it gets there. The others European, I've got to be a bit speedy this morning. I've got a call in a short while. The other European indexes, FTSE under a bit of pressure still. We've got this, obviously the weekly channel we've been talking about for a while now. Let's drag it down to see, include this candle here. That's coming in at 6,000, quite a psychological level. Maybe you should just look at that, Steve. Everyone shouts, but I'm not. I'm sticking with the Nasdaq because of the sort of potential reward from that if that we do get a stock market collapse. We've still got the head and shoulders formation playing out nicely in. This is obviously the weekly chart in DAX. And we're sort of can see there's resistance on the daily chart in the form of Ichimoku cloud and previous resistance That's coming in around about 12,850, but it's not a big resistance. So as you can see, the daily Ichimoku cloud offers quite big resistance levels or areas. When you get a thin one like this, then it's a lot less likely to hold, but still has the potential. So see what the reaction is there. And CAC is bouncing back very nicely indeed. The Dow Jones, I've also got, we've broken through that reverse trend line that we had. I've also got I had a trend line drawn earlier, seems to have disappeared. I'll redraw it on the daily chart. That's it there. It's coming in around about 29,000, just above there. This downward trending from the all-time high to the swing high more recently. That'll be resistance there. So there'll be a decent level of resistance around the 29,000 to 29,200 level on the Dow. That's about 800 points away, so a little bit of a way off. S&P the same. It's got resistance coming in at 35.25. Again, that's remains short-term bearish until we break above that. So yeah, I'm still holding the bear flag, but you know, getting mauled at the moment. I might have to go into hibernation until after lockdown. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, over to you guys.
Okay, cheers, pal. Ian, over to you for some FX. Oh, well, you've got an index up on the screen. What are you looking at? You're on mute.
He's looking at Pornhub.
No, well, that's on this screen over here. No, I'm just trying to get any sort of cipher patterns on these indices. So this was what we talked about the other day, and we said be wary of the bounce, blah 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 blah, and that's obviously playing out really well. But how far do they go, and how do we use projections? Now, a lot of the time, if we do get a strong move up, then it's 125% of the whole move, or 127.2% of the whole move, which is around about up here, which will give us sort of 29750 ish. But I wanted to look at this and give Steve a little bit of hope, hopefully, at least over the short term. So if we move up to 78.6, which we look like we have quite aggressively with no real sort of pullback, then we normally get quite a deep correction to the downside. So basically that's one leg, another leg, third leg down, and then catches everybody offside again, and then takes out all the stops above here, and a confluence area all the way up at 2750, which is that 127.2% extension level that I talked about. So 78.6 got a very decent chance of moving lower today, probably on even more shit from the US, and then have that last bull move to the upside. Reflecting that on the dollar index, that should, obviously the dollar index should go down while stocks are going up, but obviously with it all being reflected really on the US, not on risk sentiment, if you like. That was the low trade yesterday, and we're just there at the moment, so we're not really pushing through it. And I think basically what you're going to see is just choppy price action in this sort of range for the dollar index, but then an eventual bias to break to the downside as that Dow or as stock indices move higher after that correction lower. So it's going to be pretty complex again, and this is one thing that sort of got me interested, shall we say, yesterday. This is the 8-hour chart. So it hit this 88.6% pretty literally pit perfect, which we've highlighted a few times. Not this particular 88.6%, but the 88.6% pullback on these cipher patterns, saying that they offer really good risk reward. Now you've got a confluence area down here, so that would mean sort of consolidation now, but then that drive lower towards 9107. And if we go to this time frame, which is the weekly chart, 9107 is just between the 78.6 and the 261.8. So that would, if we're sort of thinking, well, that was the completion of a fifth wave. Get this thing out of the way. I'm in trouble with my PC at the moment. We're thinking that's the completion of a fifth wave. This could just be see what I mean about it dropping it back? That's fucking so annoying. Sorry, Tourette's as well. Look, what the fuck?
What's going on?
It's my Microsoft updates. Never do them.
Do it,
So
Trade
no, nothing to do with trading view. 9106. So I think that basically that's going to be the fifth wave. This isn't the completion of the fifth wave, and it's going to catch everybody offside. So reflecting that back onto majors without my charts fucking up. So dollar moving. I don't want the weekly chart. So basically, we're just going to see this. Let's go to this one. I think this is the only one I'm going to do.
Yeah, if I drop off, guys, I've just
yeah.
got a meeting to jump on. But
So-
I've sent Joe my gun to head, so don't worry.
Okay. So we've got this sort of choppy corrective, blah 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 blah. Got a bullish outside day yesterday, but I think we're just going to consolidate in that range, and then when the dollar goes higher, this will catch everybody offside, and this will then move up. It won't break the high to complete a bigger free wave correction, and then we'll get that drive lower. So basically, very choppy trading, and preferred trade would be to buy on the dip in stock indices, but obviously not today, and sell into dollar weakness eventually, or in euro strength up around here. But like I said, I think it's going to be chop chop, wibbly chop chop for a while.
Yeah, it feels that way, doesn't it? Can't see any real end to the choppiness that we're getting at the moment. I mean, it would seem as though Biden is going to take the White House, but the markets are reacting fairly positively to that at this stage. So maybe it will be waiting for Trump's reaction to a loss is maybe what the markets are paying attention to. Okay, so gun to the head challenge yesterday. So we picked 3 trades live on the video and see how they perform between that point to 9 o'clock in the evening. Yesterday we had trades on dollar CAD, which we sold. That made 2.24R, 112 ticks at 9 o'clock. So that continues to be quite a nice market for us at the moment. We've had some decent success.
Yeah, lovely.
Steve was stopped out on the Dow Jones for a 1-hour loss, and Ian, you were stopped on Swiss yen for a 1-hour loss as well. So overall, we made some money, 0.24R collectively, which gives us a little bit of a bump up in the overall P&L, but it's quite choppy, as has been the case with the markets over the last couple of days.
Yeah, indeed.
So I've got Steve's trade, which I'll do first of all. He's had to dash off because he's got a call.
Selling Nasdaq.
He's selling the Nasdaq. So this is
Yeah, that's a good guess.
He's trying to set it close to this trend line. He's put a stop loss above this swing high from here that we can see on the chart. And his levels are selling it at 12,030. Stop loss at 12,280 with a target of 10,780. I'm also going to follow suit and sell indices. I'm looking at the DAX today. This is the daily chart, and I've got a nice head and shoulders top that's taken shape. We saw a nice breakdown here back on the 26th of October. Got pretty close to the measured move down at 11,215, and also a 38.2% of the entire recovery move from the March lows. But zooming in now, I've got a retest potentially of the neckline around here, and also a 61.8%, which is of this right shoulder. So I'm looking to sell it here. Going to zoom into the hourly charts just for it to be a bit more specific. I'm going to sell at 12,439. Going to have a stop loss at 12,632. Let's say 195 tick stop. I'm going to target a move down to 11,250. Obviously expecting quite a considerable amount of volatility if that's going to work out today, but you never know. There's headlines that are coming out in the market all the time, so I may get lucky. We'll have to wait and see. But that's my trade for today. Looking for a 6R return on the DAX. Over to you, Ian.
Yeah, I'm going to look at euro sterling. Obviously, as Joe said earlier, we had a bit of a knee-jerk reaction higher in sterling and sterling crosses this morning on the back of the 150 billion extension of stimulus for the QE. But I quite like some time frames and some cipher patterns on here. So this is the 8-hour time frame. We've got a confluence area here. This is 78.6%, and of that move. And it's a 161.8% extension of that move. So it's not a perfect Gartley, but it is quite a decent symmetrical pattern. This free wave formation at the bottom is a bullish morning star formation, not a doji star because we have got a bit of a body there, but it is positive for price action. If we go to this time frame here, this was the knee-jerk reaction this morning. We're already starting to recover some of those losses, and I don't think there's anything really to stop a rally until we get up to here, which is around about 91.72, 91.76. So I'm getting long of, I see, fucking hell.
Is it anything to do with that magnet you've got on?
Well, this is a cross.
No, on the left-hand side, on the panel.
Oh, right. Let's have a go. If that solved it, you get a gold star, Joe. 91.72. Where do I want me to stop? Just below the swing low. 90 the figure, I think. Keep it simple. So just over 4R, getting long of euro sterling at 90.34, targeting 91.72. We'll stop at 90 the figure.
Okay, great. Good luck with that. So back to news today. As I said, we've got the FOMC at 7 p.m. That has been delayed due to the election. No change in policy expected. Not sure what they'll talk about really, given that things are still quite uncertain with regards to the election. We've also got US jobless claims due out at 1:30. Claims expected to fall to 745,000 from 751,000 a week earlier. For the UK, it'll be all eyes on Rishi Sunak around about midday, where he will be extending the furlough scheme until December in a bid to cushion the blow from the month-long lockdown, which has started today in the UK. So, yeah, let's wait and see what happens with the markets from here, I guess.
Yeah, a couple of speakers this afternoon. Swiss National Bank's Michaela, I think you call her, and then ECB have got a speaker as well, both at 4 o'clock or 4 o'clock and 4:10. So I don't know if they're speaking together. Quite interesting fact there. On Andrea Michaela is the first woman to ever occupy a board position at the Swiss National Bank.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Go girls!
Go girls! So just be wary of those.
Okay, cool. All right, mate. Well, let's wrap it up there.
And Bubba's speaking as well.
Bubba?
Yeah, German Bubba.
Ah, okay.
At 4 o'clock, so they're all out at 4 o'clock.
Lovely. Okay, mate. Right, well, have a good day, everybody. Good luck if you're trading, and we'll be back tomorrow morning bright and early.
Yeah, lovely.
Cheers, Em.
Cheers.
Bye.